I know you want to make money this year in a side hustle or a full-time hustle, driving for DoorDash or really any app in this gig economy. But in this video, I'm going to present 5 questions, scenarios that you have to answer this year to really decide, is it worth it to drive on DoorDash or again, any app in this gig economy. So I'm going to talk about that in this video, and don't worry, this applies to really any app in this gig economy. Now, as we're getting into this, and I appreciate you being here, drop a like if you are getting value in this training, if you appreciate being a team member here. And if you haven't joined already, I invite you to join the team of over 26,000. I'm going to throw you a little curveball to start here. I want to ask you a question, as I like to do here. Number one, how many revenue streams do you have currently? You may have been thinking, well, Mike, come on, I thought we're talking about, quitting here, and you're asking me how many revenue. Exactly. I'm throwing you a curveball to start this video. How many revenue streams, active revenue streams, do you have right now? Let me know in the live chat or in the comment section. I see you guys in here. Jonathan, thanks for being here. Steve, I see you in the training today. Felicia, thanks for being here. All tons of value today. And frankly, today, we're going to be talking about things that I don't see ever talked about. Everyone's talking about, hey, I want to make as much money as possible. I want to make money. I want to sign up for these apps. How do I maximize my income on these apps? And I help you with that. If you're new here, this is the first time that you and I are meeting. My name is Mike. I'm coming to you from my hometown. It's very cold here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But I started right here in Pittsburgh back in 2015 in this gig economy. I've driven for DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, Amazon, Postmates, Lime, Shipt, Instacart, all of these platforms here. And the premise is simple. It's to help you in your side hustle, your full-time hustle, making money and creating multiple revenue streams. That's fantastic. But no one talks about, well, when should I quit? When should I stop driving on these platforms? And again, today I'm going to present 5 reasons why you should stop driving. Number one, let's just jump into the training here today. Your pay per mile is less than $1.20. This is going to be a wake-up video for you. It's if you've been doing this a week, a day, a year, whatever, 5 years. If you don't answer these questions, you're going to say, well, I never really thought about that. If your pay per mile is less than $1.20, you might want to consider stop driving. Sure, you might want to consider stop driving for DoorDash and these apps here. And it's not just my opinion here. I'm going to show you some facts, some figures, and again, yes, some anecdotes of why 120 here. So let's get into that. So this example here, you saw it in the thumbnail here, $1.03. Okay. The title of this video, we're talking about DoorDash, but again, it doesn't matter what app you're driving in. It can be any app that pays you based on, let's say, miles, right? So if your pay per mile is less than $1.20, look at this example from Chipotle, centering back to DoorDash. This example is $1.03 per mile. Now I call that the dollars to mile ratio. How much am I getting paid for the miles driven, right? That's a foundation of your driving here. Now, this is what I call an active revenue stream. You're very much trading your time for your money. Now, a goal this year, remember I asked you a question, how many revenue streams that you have? Well, this year, our goal on the channel is to blow up your income. And really this year, it's new for 2021, is I want you to set up both active revenue streams, active being, yeah, I trade my time for my money, but semi-passive streams like affiliate income. So going back to this here, it's $1.03. Okay, again, why does it matter? How did you come up with 120? Okay, well, continuing on here, the standard mileage rate for business use of a car, a van, a pickup, or a panel truck this year is 56 cents per mile. That's down from 57.5 cents in 2020. That is cited directly from the IRS here in the United States. Now that is, again, a standard mileage deduction. You can use that to offset your taxable income. So let's run the numbers here. If I am driving for less than $1.20 and my standard deduction is 56 cents, We're going to talk about this today. This is why you're here, but I mean, is it worth it? Do you want to do that to your vehicle, your effort? You have to set minimum pay thresholds, because I've always said if you don't have any standards, you're basically driving blind. You know, I got to be real with you. If I can just be real with you here, lean in for this, but these apps aren't hard. You know, that's what I always say. These apps are not hard, which is what makes them hard. It's very easy. And, you know, maybe some of these apps, you know, are hoping that you do this, that you don't take a look at your numbers here. But you need to really look at your analytics, look at my data and say, okay, what am I actually willing to accept? This is what I recommend for you. We talked about that dollars to mile threshold here. Do not drive, in my opinion, at 120 or less. That's just a barometer, okay? That's a guideline. So if you look at this guideline here, this is my threshold for you. If you don't have a threshold, consider this as a springboard. I would decline any trips. Again, this doesn't matter if it's on DoorDash or what have you, Uber Eats, Postmates, any app that's paying you by the mile, right? I would decline anything that's $1, $1.10, again, $1.20, we can see in the yellow there. That's kind of the swing area. And then you're getting to $1.40, $1.50, $1.60. That's getting into the more green zone, what you should accept on these platforms. I like $1.50. You know, $1.20 again is kind of our floor. Again, it's just that, it's a minimum. But if you can hit $2+ a mile, that is ideal. I think you're in a green zone. Remember, you can write off 56 cents per business mile this year in 2021. So there's a good margin there if you're getting $2+ a mile. Now, I acknowledge you can say, well, Mike, you know, how can you get $2+ a mile? Well, you know, we have playlists on all of these apps. When it comes to the active revenue streams, the streams that trade your time for your money, I mean, my goal there, again, is to have you be a top 15% driver earner. So we talk about how to maximize your income there. But that's the minimum threshold I would take, $2 per mile. Let's continue. Tip number 2, the reason number 2 why you might want to consider stopping driving for DoorDash, and I see some of you mentioning this here, buy a cheap beater car. Tip number 2 is you're over leveraging your vehicle. I mean, it's your biggest asset. It could be your biggest asset or your second biggest asset next to any, you know, property if you own a home, what have you. But you've over leveraged your vehicle and no one is talking about this. You know, I always want to bring you both sides of the coin here. Is yes, let's talk about the money. Let's blow up your income this year in 2021. Let's set up your semi-passive and active streams. In fact, if you're committed to setting up semi-passive and active streams, I want you to type "I'm committed" in the live chat or the comment section. Type "I'm committed" if you're actually going to start, not just say you're going to get started. That's another thing that holds you back, is saying and not doing. Action over everything. Take massive action here. Type "I'm committed." But you've over leveraged your vehicle. This is something that, again, you know, we just want to go online. You know, Mike, I don't really care. You know, I just want to make money now, and I get that. You know, I started back in 2015, frankly, half out of boredom. You know, I'm sitting around here in Pittsburgh. I was in the shady side area of Pittsburgh at the time. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not making any money. Kind of bored, kind of just sitting around. Whenever I do go out, I'm spending like 70, 100 bucks at the bar. Come on, just wasted money, right? I wanted to make some money, so I get that. I get you want to make money right now, especially in today's landscape. But look at this. In my opinion, you don't want to use a new or newer vehicle if you're driving long term. You know, one of the biggest questions is, you know, hey, I just bought a brand new whatever vehicle. You know, it cost me $25,000. Do you recommend that I use that in the gig economy or these side hustle apps that require a vehicle? I would say no. If you're doing this long term, what's long term? I don't know, 6 months, 12 months, that depends to your own situation. The average person drives 13,500 miles per year. That's sourced directly from the Federal Highway Administration. That is fresh data from 2020. I'm going to be real with you. If you're driving in the gig economy, some of these shifts when you're driving can easily reach 50 to 150 plus miles a shift. Now, You need to be recording your miles, right, for that deduction that we talked about, right? The 56 cents per mile. You need to be doing that, number one. But whenever you're recording those miles, I personally just reset my odometer. That's a good way to do it. Whenever you go online, zero it out and then record the miles at the end of the shift. But at the end of that shift, you may look at that trip odometer and say, oh, I drove 75 miles today, or I drove 120 miles today. If you're doing like a 7-8 hour shift, that's very real depreciation on your vehicle. Look at this. It's very simple, right? I'm not a math guy. It's just simple math here. 5 days a week, if you're really hustling, which I respect. I love that you're out there hustling. Jake says, I'm committed. Let me know if you're committed to actually creating different revenue streams this year. That's our goal. I like to hear that you're committed. But if you're committed to 5 days a week at 100 miles a shift, 500 extra miles a week, 2,000 extra miles a month, that is 24,000 extra miles per year. So again, I'm not even a math guy. I'm going to cheat here. Let's get the calculator out. So 24,000, right? 13,500, 37,000 plus miles in that year. If you hustled for 5 days, which again, I respect, I've certainly added a lot of miles on my vehicle. It's a Volkswagen Passat. I bought it at 30,000+ miles. Now it's at 70,000+. I haven't had it that long, a decent amount of time, but I mean, come on. Ideally, here's what you want to do. If you're going to use your vehicle for some of these apps, and I see some of you in the comments section commenting on this. I mean, viewers like Miles, team members like Miles saying a 2008 Prius. That's kind of what I say here. Is if you're going to use a vehicle, try to get a fully depreciated vehicle, right? Maybe an electric vehicle like Miles with the Prius, and or vehicles that are used solely for business. Now, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a financial expert. This is not business structure or tax advice, but for tax purposes, if you have a vehicle that you purchased solely for business use, you could write off all of the operating expenses on that vehicle. Again, that's not professional tax advice, but if it's solely used for business, chances are you can write off the entire cost of that vehicle or depreciate it over time. So I want you to consider that if you're starting to over leverage your vehicle, and maybe time to stop and maybe move into the semi-passive streams of income. The next tip number 3, 60% of your shift is slow. Before we get into this, again, I want to thank you for being in the training today. Definitely drop a like if you're getting value in this training if you haven't done so already. You can hit that subscribe button. This is the best place to learn about creating income and generating multiple revenue streams on YouTube. Join the team right now, over 26,000. Join over on Discord. And if you do want exclusive access to next level content, including exclusive videos, custom badges just for the driver team here on YouTube that you won't see anywhere else across the internet, consider hitting the join button down below and joining as a VIP and get access to those exclusive badges, custom content that no one else is going to see, custom emotes that you can comment on the channel and the live chat. Consider joining over as a VIP. 60% of your shift is slow. You might want to stop driving for DoorDash or some of these other apps here. Well, why 60%? I mean, it seems like a lot of this stuff, and where are you getting these numbers here? I'll tell you. I mean, this is from actual experience. This isn't from someone who signed up two weeks ago that's pretending to, know what they're talking about. No disrespect, no diss on anyone that just signed up. You certainly gain expertise there, but I've been doing this on different apps in different marketplaces for thousands of trips across all of those apps since 2015. So in my experience, and based on what other drivers say, just listening to the community here, if 60% of your shift is slow, let's talk about this. Why would that matter? Okay. The app may not be the best fit for your specific marketplace. I gotta be real with you. Something else that no one really talks about is, trying to fit the round peg in a square hole scenario here. I'm sorry, the app might not be the best fit for your marketplace. Are you driving or you're working on the wrong days rather, and or the wrong times? again, this doesn't have to be on DoorDash. I know that's the premise of this video, but think about any app, Shipped with grocery delivery or Instacart. I mean, I'll give you a scenario here. Whenever I noticed the pay on Shipped drop in a good amount, for a run that would typically be, let's say, 45 minutes an hour, in the past, I would see crazy pay, like $35, $45 for that hour run. When I start seeing that drop to $18, I mean, I've seen some runs like $12. You really have to do the old-fashioned cost-benefit analysis there. So on the apps that are based on a time segment of the marketplace, like a DoorDash, are you just driving during the bad times? And I understand. I mean, let me know in the comments section, how much free time do you have? Let me know right now. That's a great question to help us understand our community here. How much time do you have in your side hustle or your full-time hustle? Are you doing this 5 hours a week, which is cool? 10 hours? Are you going all in? Are you doing this 40 hours a week? Let us know. But nextly, are you driving on maximum bonus pay? Right? What are you talking about? You're driving on maximum bonus pay. Bradster, I see you have 4 or 5 hours a day. Hey, I respect that hustle. That's a day. That's pretty good. So driving on maximum bonus pay, that can actually be a bad thing, right? What does this do? It can make your shift, 60% of your shift, slow. So going back to our pay thresholds here, check this out. This is specifically focusing on DoorDash here, but you can kind of put this over to other apps as well. Let's grab a sip of coffee there. Let me know if you're drinking any coffee right now. But the peak pay, that's a per delivery bonus from DoorDash, right? Every delivery, you'll get an extra $2, $4, whatever it is. So if your marketplace, I mean, I just mentioned $2, right? Let's say $2 is average for your marketplace as far as a bonus. And again, this is any app. And the maximum bonus pay you've seen is $4 or $5. Look at this chart. If you're driving on 100% of the max bonus pay, you're driving on those $5 shifts, you're driving on the $4, I'm gonna get that maximum bonus pay. You may find that your shift is gonna be slower because more drivers are clustered to that area, right? Maybe it's Uber Eats. Everyone's driving to try to get that $5 surge pay or 2.1 boost pay, or everyone's trying to schedule that $4 or $5 peak pay. I mean, I'm going to be real with you. Statistically, I have shown that doesn't mean you're going to be any busier, and it doesn't mean statistically, based on my own numbers, that you'll earn more money. So what I do, look at this, is I try to shoot between 70 to 85% of that max peak pay, because then we're getting a good balance, right? Of okay, it's not the $5 peak pay, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to try to schedule $350 or $150 or whatever that threshold is for your marketplace. I'm going to schedule that. And then what that also does is have you driving or scheduling, working, whatever it is, in a market segment that doesn't have a lot of shoppers on Instacart or Shipped or a lot of drivers on any of these other apps here. So I hope you got a value in that. Drop a like if you're getting value so far in this stream here. Continuing on here, are you ignoring seasonality and or market-specific trends? What does that mean? Okay, well, obviously, we're in a very unique landscape right now with everything going on, right? So if your marketplace has the restaurant closures, the in-restaurant dining is closed, that, I mean, I'll just say will lead to a spike in delivery orders, right? It stands to reason. In-restaurant dining is closed, the delivery requests are going to spike, yes. But are there trends like, here in Pittsburgh or even back in San Diego, excuse me, let's grab some more coffee. Excuse me. Are you ignoring trends where, okay, now restaurants are starting to reopen? Or what's happening on what? Sunday. Is it Sunday? I don't even follow football. Super Bowl is coming up, right? That's a big event. So I would be strategic with that. So if you want to combat 60% of your shift being slow, especially as a side hustle, Try to center around your business needed driving, obviously around those big events and seasonality. Now, so what happens if you go online and you see this? Because I don't want this to happen to you. Okay, let's say you go online and this happens. Right? So you're just sitting there, you go online, you're like, all right, I'm gonna make a lot of money, and nothing happens. Obviously, though, it's just a few seconds, but if you're sitting there and nothing's going on, again, if 60% of your shift is slow, look at the numbers. In fact, you can go to your drivermike.com, go under resources. There is an Excel and a numbers sheet to track your numbers. Look what the numbers say. These stats, frankly, the stats aren't going to lie. It's going to say, okay, these hours, I make this. If I drive in this bonus, I make this. So definitely check that out. That is a free resource to you. And if you haven't done so already, check out my Amazon storefront. If you're in this side hustle, if you're in a full-time hustle, or really, if you just want some cool accessories to save you time, headaches, or I think there's some massive opportunity right now to make money right here on YouTube as again, a side hustle, or what I do, you can scale up, in my opinion, absolutely scale up to be a full-time content creator. There's even the best accessories for that as well. That is linked down below in the description, our driver team storefront. So tip number 4, your hourly pay is less than $15. Okay, think about that. If I were to ask you, okay, you're making $15 per hour, how would you feel about that? Driving for DoorDash or Uber Eats or Shipt or even Amazon Flex. Amazon Flex is now contributing as little as $15 an hour. Let me know in the live chat in the comments. You're making $15 an hour. Are you happy with that? Well, here's why I would say no, you shouldn't be. So for California drivers, as a benefit to Proposition 22, which has recently passed states as a dasher in California, you'll earn at least 120% of minimum wage based on the local minimum wage at the pickup location. For active time on the platform, plus 30 cents per mile for active time when driving a motor vehicle in California. But don't worry if you're not in California. I just wanted to put that out there. I mean, chances are that's still not going to get you. Actually, that might get you above 15 an hour if I did my, if I'm remembering my calculations. Let me know. Anyway, but if you're not in California, that's okay. Check this out. What are you willing to work for is the question that you need to ask yourself. What are you willing to work for and endure? What is he talking? What's this guy talk? Endure? It's like, what are we climbing a mountain here? What do you mean endure? I say right here, weather, workload, customer service. Okay, let's take a second and again, be real with you here. If you're driving on DoorDash or Uber Eats, again, any app here in the gig economy, or really any app as a contractor, what have you, if you're making $15 an hour, and again, it's freezing here in Pittsburgh. It's going to be like 0 next week. It's pretty crazy. I'm missing the sun of San Diego, but I definitely love Pittsburgh here. So if you're driving in 0-degree weather and you're out there delivering what have you, or if you're doing Amazon Flex, you're delivering packages, it's pouring rain. I kind of hate this. I got to unload these packages. I'm not really getting any tips. Is that what you're willing to endure for $15 an hour? And that's just a floor. That's just, in my opinion, that's a floor that you should consider. I want you to ask yourself that question because look there at the bottom. Can you make more money faster elsewhere? This is the whole premise of the training today. I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to present things, hopefully a wake-up call, just things to consider. I'm not saying, hey, throw these apps away. I think there's absolutely great potential here on some of these apps. But the premise of this channel is it is a team. You're a team member here. You got to help me out. You got to look at some of those numbers and understand in your marketplace, I mean, can you make more money elsewhere faster? That's the goal this year, is to at least combine your active streams with those semi-passive streams as well, so you can blow up your income this year. Tip number 5. And hey, if you're getting value, can you drop me a like? If you appreciate being a team member, definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Tip number 5, app bonus pay or standard pay and or tips are bottoming out. Okay. Again, to have a real conversation about pay here, we need to think about how is the pay in your specific marketplace? Is it going down? Is it a concern for you? Because I'm going to bring some realness. Can I be real here? It's a Friday, right? We're turning to the weekend here. But over the years, since 2015, in fact, I'll tell you a story here. Driving in Pittsburgh, this is before I moved to San Diego. Of course, I'm back here in Pittsburgh. But I first signed up with Uber, rideshare, Halloween weekend of 2015. The pay was good in late 2015. It was on fire in 2016. At some point, Uber, as some of these apps do, they're testing pay rates. Well, they decreased the pay from whatever it was, $1.20 down to 90 cents per mile. And you have to come to terms with, you are only a half of this equation. Well, I guess a third, right? The company, the end user, and then the drivers. And again, shoppers, whatever niche this is in here. Hey, Sleepy, I see you in here. Thanks for the $5 super chat. I will definitely get to that question here in a second. But you need to consider, okay, what is my bottom? What is my minimum pay threshold? I said, again, $1.20 a mile, which is still kind of in that yellow zone, and or $15 an hour. I mean, we're getting down there, right? We're getting down to the floor of pay. So if you're seeing the app bonus pay, in fact, let me show you an example here. If you're seeing app bonus pay really start to drop, let's go back to San Diego. Before I relocated here to Pittsburgh, I saw, look at the top here, Mission Valley. That was my home segment in San Diego. I saw $3, $4, $5 peak pay bonuses. So now what are we seeing? We see $2. We see $1 in certain market segments. Now, again, there's seasonality, there's trends. So if you see, if you see $1, $2 peak pay, again, don't throw these apps away. I would, I see comments, it says, Mike, it's not worth it anymore in my marketplace. I deleted the app. I would say, well, don't delete the app. At least go in there and see if there's seasonality, see if it gets better, right? Because it may not always stay at this $1, $2. It may go up, may go down, especially if you haven't driven in a while. Some of these apps may try to get you back in, and they may say, hey, you haven't driven in a while. Go online now to get an extra $5 in order, right? So keep it as an option, because as an independent contractor, a lot of these apps don't even have a minimum. Like Amazon Flex, there's no minimum as far as the shifts that you need to schedule here. So food for thought, right? If you're seeing lower peak pay. So Sleepy asks, what do you think is the most important part about being a DoorDash driver? Really, for any app, it's doing your research. Is the most important part about any of these apps. It's doing your research and looking at the numbers for anything. Even here on YouTube, I'm in my analytics every single day, many times a day, looking at my data and doing my research. Because I'll be real with you, probably 90% of drivers, workers, hustlers, maybe, I don't want to paint with too wide of a brush here, but if I can just be so bold, most people aren't looking at their data and their analytics to say what's actually working, right? I love hunches. I've driven on hunches, and I try to experiment. Experimentation is good. Trying new things is good, but again, the data is not going to lie. So I want you to consider that. So as we land the plane here today on this training, hopefully you've received massive value in this training today, is food for thought here in 2021. If you're new or if you've been signing up for a while, I do think there's some benefit here. I do feel like there is a good amount of opportunities if the data makes sense. And that's really a lot of the premise here on the channel, is that this year, my goal for you is to really blow up your income. And again, that is our goal this year. So if you haven't subscribed already, I definitely welcome you to join the team here, join the team again of over 26,000. consider getting those exclusive benefits as a driver team member by clicking the join button down below. And if you got a value in the training today, you can definitely drop me a like, and also click or tap the screen here for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.